Well, I'm coming to you with some unbelievable breaking news. You're going to want to stick around for the very end of this because Tesla just pulled all the stops and I have never seen anything like this. Be sure to hit that like button to help spread the word. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel. But let's dive into what just happened about 45 minutes ago from when I'm filming this. As you know, after the Inflation Reduction Act of 2022 was passed, a lot of electric vehicles started to have issues being sold. Tesla is no exception to this. Rather than take delivery of a car as we get closer to the end of 2022, people started delaying their orders till January so that way they could get that $7,500 tax credit. Makes it very hard to sell an electric car when they could just wait and get 7,500 bucks off. Of course, Tesla tried to combat this. At first, they offered $3,750 off. Then they added 10,000 supercharging miles for 2 years. Then they upped the number to $7,500. Then they offered $7,500 plus 10,000 miles for 2 years for all Teslas, including the Model S and the Model X. Now, we were watching inventory absolutely climbing day by day until the $7,500 offer. That's when things started going down really fast. And at the end of the year, there were very few Model Ys and Model 3s left in inventory across the US. January 1st came around and we got some information from the IRS about what they believe does and does not qualify for these tax credits. They released a whole list of MSRP caps based on vehicle and trim. It was extremely disappointing because we found out that the Model Y 5-seater is going to fall under the $55,000 MSRP cap, which is completely different than what everybody had assumed because based on EPA classification, it's considered an SUV. So if you don't have a 7-passenger Model Y, you are under the 55,000 MSRP cap. If you have the 7-passenger, you get the 80,000 MSRP cap. So this is obviously a major issue because Tesla sells the Model Y starting at $65,990. So the question was, what are we gonna do? This is a huge gap to get down below $55,000. Well, we officially have our answer, and this is going to sound absolutely bonkers, but let's dive into it. Tesla just significantly dropped prices across all products that they offer. The Model 3, the Model Y, the Model S, and the Model X all took a huge drop in price just tonight. So let's take a look at each of these, starting with the Model 3. The standard range Model 3 now starts at $43,990. It was only a $3,000 drop, 6.5%. The long range, however, dropped $8,000 and now starts at $49,990. That's almost a 14% drop. That is a huge drop in price. The performance, just like the long range, had a big drop, $9,000 down to $53,990. That's over 14% drop. As you can see with these new prices, every Model 3 now starts under that 55,000 MSRP cap. So where before we only had the standard range that would qualify, now all 3 models are going to qualify. And we know that the long range and the performance at minimum get their batteries from the United States. So those two should still get that 7,500 tax credit eligibility even after March. And over to the Model Y, which is overtaking numerous markets around the globe as the best-selling car, not just best-selling EV, but best-selling car. Starting with the Model Y all-wheel drive, commonly known as the standard range, which was just brought back. The standard range went down $11,000 and now starts at $50,990, a 17.5% reduction. The long range dropped $13,000, now starts at $52,990. That's nearly 20% drop. The performance also $13,000 down, now starts at $56,990, or an 18.5% reduction. One of the other things that Tesla did, they also changed the price of the 7-passenger configuration for the Model Y. Of course, with the news from the IRS, having a 7-passenger Model Y gives you a lot more room with the MSRP, being that it's $80,000. So the Model Y with a 7-passenger configuration is super popular and very hard to get your hands on, and Tesla has adjusted prices accordingly. What was $3,000 ever since the Model Y launched is now $4,000. That is technically a big jump as a percentage, but not too bad. An extra $1,000 will give you a ton more room in MSRP cap. So depending on the options that you're ordering, you may have to order that to get your MSRP under that $80,000. Interestingly enough, the Model S and Model X also had some pretty big price reductions. Over on the Model S, the long range dropped $10,000 and now starts at $94,990, a 9.5% reduction. The Plaid Model S dropped $21,000 or 15.5%. What's crazy is the Plaid has commanded a premium in the Model S and in the Model X. Tesla has reduced the Plaid significantly and brought it more in line with that long range. It'll be interesting to see how many people upgrade to the Plaid now that traditionally would have ordered a long range. Over on the Model X, much the same story. $11,000 reduction on the long-range Model X now starts at $109,990, a 9% reduction. The Plaid, $19,000 reduction now starts at $119,990, a 13.5% reduction. Again, that Plaid used to command quite a big premium over the long-range version. It's now priced much closer to the long range. And when you think about it, the Plaid comes with 6 seats. So that's a $6,500 upgrade. So that delta between the long range and the Plaid Model X is very, very small. Now let's pivot over to tax credits, because this is where things get really spicy. As you know, the Model 3 has a $55,000 MSRP cap. So all 3 models are going to qualify for that tax credit. From now until March, every electric vehicle that's final assembled here in North America will qualify for the full $7,500 tax credit. Understand this though, the vehicle still has to qualify under the MSRP caps in place, your income has to qualify, and you have to have enough tax liability to receive this full credit. So previously I have said that it's a refundable credit, but it is not a refundable credit. Again, I apologize. So you have to have tax liability to receive this credit. If you only have $2,000 in tax liability, you're only going to get $2,000 of the $7,500. Keep that in mind. But assuming that you're purchasing a qualified vehicle, it's under the MSRP caps and your income is qualified. Here's what the effective price after you go to file your 2023 taxes will look like. The standard range Model 3 will effectively be $36,490, the long range $42,490, and the performance $46,490. Over on the Model Y, the standard range Model Y will be $43,490, long range $45,490, but the performance will not qualify because it is $2,000 over that cap of $55,000. So with the Model 3 and the Model Y, the only vehicle that does not qualify for that $7,500 tax credit is the Performance Model Y. Again, this is effective from January until March. I will be bringing a video out next week, which I've already filmed and have to refilm now, that explains what is happening right now between January and March and which vehicles qualify and for how much. So make sure to subscribe so that when I post that video, you are in the know. I'm very curious to hear from you because a lot of you took delivery of a car when it was $3,750 off, and a lot of you took delivery of a car when it was $7,500 off. I'm sure you're now feeling very frustrated, and I can completely understand. However, at the end of the day, this is good if you truly believe in electrification. Bringing the most popular electric vehicles on the market today more within reach for more people is the best thing that can happen for making this transition to electrification go faster. The long-range Model Y, as an example, went up $17,000 from its high. So seeing it come back down $13,000 is quite a big jump and a very good thing. My very first Model Y was $52,990 and it is now $52,990. So this is good progress. I know Tesla's been making a lot of progress with reducing costs, and that's finally trickling out to customers in the form of price. So with all that, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, of course, give it the thumbs up. If you haven't already, of course, subscribe to the channel as we continue to post content regularly. You can follow us on Twitter and Instagram @BeardedTesla. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll catch you next time.